Welcome once again as we talk about church matching. Remember, this is your scholarship program. This is a way for you to help your students. You've invested into their lives for many, many years. You have seen them come to faith in your church, and now here's a way that Indiana Wesleyan is partnering with you to further invest in their lives, in their education. So through this church matching program, you're lowering their cost to attend here. And when you do this program, you want to think strategically. You want to bring people around you, the committee people that are going to help you think through ways to raise money. But Tom, how have you engaged people to get behind this type of program at your church?
Well, one of the things is that the committee itself has a very important function with engaging the congregation, because it's like you mentioned, it's strategic planning for that. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that makes our program successful, and every committee should consider, why are we doing this? Why do we want to raise scholarship money for our students? Mm-hmm. And so we want to look at the whole concept of putting together a mission statement. About every organization that really wants to move forward, they have a mission statement, don't they? Certainly every church does that I've been involved with. And so what we wanted to do is form a mission statement as to why we're participating. For our church, we looked at that we were wanting to train up people to have a Christian education to be able to go out and make a difference in our world for Christ. And as we look at what is happening in our world, as far as in the education scene, certainly secular education is not bringing about what we would desire as a church. And so therefore, in this mission statement, that's kind of a key point for us. And then also, being a Wesleyan church, we wanted to have the whole concept of training up leaders for our denomination, and also for the individual church. And that would be true for everyone. We want to raise up people that are going to Indiana Wesleyan University to be trained to make a difference in our world for Christ.
Yeah, when we think about this type of program, we often think about the immediate. We have a student at Indiana Wesleyan, how do we support them? And what you're talking about is a little more long range. What if you don't have a student at Indiana Wesleyan, but your church still can support this? How did you go about doing that?
Well, at that point, we had a few people at our church, but I was brought up at Leato Wesleyan Church. That was a church that I grew up in. And they started the Church Matching Scholarship Fund. And then there was a dry time for, 4, 5, 6 years, where there wasn't any students attending Indiana Wesleyan University. But the program was still implemented, and still the committee was there, and they saw the potential of the young people that were coming up. So at the point that, now this is a church of like 60 people or so it wasn't a large congregation, and so when the students started coming, they had $30,000 in their account. So they would be able to give, let's say, $1,500, and then they would throw in another $500 or $1,000. And there are churches that do that today too. Don't look at the fact that you don't have any teens coming to IW right now. What you're wanting to look at is that you want to make a difference when the teens do start coming.
Well, and no matter the size of church, obviously, and as you make those contributions to the university, and you make sure that it's tagged as your church in the church matching program, we will hold on to those dollars to assist you when it is time for you to, perhaps a new student shows up at your church, or your students begin to head to college. What is unique about your mission statement is it almost doesn't become exclusionary, because there's lots of opportunities to go to different colleges, but it narrows the focus so that they're contributing to a school like ours who is doing the church matching program. Obviously, you want to help your students in any way you can, but through a church matching program that is specific to Indiana Wesleyan's matching program makes good sense to a donor or anyone else for that matter.
And I might add to that too, is that feel free to contact Rick and our website and look at Westview's mission statement.
Yeah.
Because some people feel like, oh, well, where do I start
Yeah.
with a mission statement? Well, you certainly can look at ours. You can tweak it. You can change it. We don't possess it per se. We want to share it with as many people as possible. So feel free to take advantage of what we already have in print.
And we'll give you those resources. Some of those links will pop up through this video, and we'll also have a website for you where we have plenty of resources, plenty of examples of how other churches are doing that. Download those examples, create your own from those samples. But we want to, of course, as we're going through this, talk more and more about how we can further assist you with your church matching program to help you to be successful and ultimately help our kids with a Christian college experience. So thanks for joining us.